Really, there was only one true question I wanted to learn the truth of. Before walking in, I adjusted my attire. There was nothing more shameful than to appear lazy in front of the gods, especially the Oracle, as she can determine my future. I had to make a good impression. As confident as ever, I walked into the halls of the Oracle. Not long after, I felt the chills down my spine. She was right there, looking straight at me with a cold but firm look. It stunned me for a second, but after a small pep talk to myself, I locked eyes with her, ready to speak. "Oh great Oracle, it is I, Eumenes, the true heir of..."
Alexander. Yes, I have foreseen your visit. Ask your question, for you have only one.
"I wish to reunite the great Macedonian Empire, like my great-grandfather before me. My grandfather, however, never lost a battle, and I have been humbled at Pontus. I ask you, will I stand as the true heir of Alexander?"
The true heir of Alexander. Toi kratis toi, to the strongest. So said Alexander, son of Zeus. Are you the strongest, Eumenes? If so, then you shall find no difficulty is enough to challenge you. If not, then you are no heir of Alexander. You have asked your question, and I have answered.
Feeling like my confusion only got worse, I wanted to follow up on her reply, but two armed guards interrupted, demanding me to leave or else be thrown out. After being forced out, I turned around telling one of the brutes, "What is the meaning of this? Can't you just give me a clear answer?" He calmly replied, "Ha, do I look like Alexander to you? Why don't you go ask his corpse? Maybe you'll find more luck there." He kept laughing till he was out of sight. But this actually gave me an idea. Mithridates still holds my title of heir, but I've heard he fled down to Alexandria seeking refuge under the Ptolemies. Maybe I got my answer after all. Alexander's corpse was just a clue to reassure me of where I needed to go. I will travel to Alexandria, retrieving my grandfather and put an end to Mithridates. By now, Attalus had returned from his campaign in Magna Graecia, scoring one victory after another. As he subjugated Rome, he recruited some of his former foes who cut down the most Greeks. Publicly, he stated they could prove to be useful for city assaults, but in private he told me they were a souvenir and a way to humiliate the Romans for eternity. I only cared about their abilities with the sword, hence we brought them with us. He also brought back another scroll. This one mentioned the Tripex Acies. It seemed too complicated for me, so I probably wouldn't use it. Still, my toolkit expands, making us more flexible than ever to deal with any opponent. If we want to reach Alexandria, we will have to go by land, through the Levant. The seas are contested by the Egyptian navies and just overall dangerous, whereas the land route is only being blocked by the Seleucids. After a while with plenty of traveling and recruiting, I arrived outside of Tarsus, a Seleucid settlement that luckily wouldn't stand in our way for long. After a quick fight, we had a foot in the Levant. Here we were finally able to see the two Diadochi fight from the front lines. Furthermore, knowing we required allies further inland, I made an agreement with Saba of Arabia. Hopefully they will prove to be worthy allies. And with that done, I laid siege to Antioch, a settlement the Seleucids had liberated a month prior. They would enjoy independence for a while longer, as we still required proper siege equipment. But that doesn't mean nothing happened. So far, we have only meddled with Seleucid affairs. Now, it was time to interfere with the arrogant Ptolemies as well. One of my fleets attempted to assault Salamis from the sea, but failed miserably. Losing well over half of his crew and ships, he returned back to side, looking to replenish. This defeat left our ports in danger of naval raids. Hence I called for Herodes, a skilled admiral who served a vital role in the defeat of Rome. Outside the coast of Sparta, the first major clash of the Titans took place. Led by the mighty Ptolemaic admiral Patroclus, Herodes prepared his men for battle. It took 7 days of combat before the battle was over. The Pergamon fleet prevailed, obliterating the main strength of Egypt. He would then sail down to Africa in an attempt to bring the conflict to them, but he got quickly repelled, forcing him to take the long route through Sicily back to Greece. While he was over there, a hostile fleet attempted to take side back, but fortune favored us as we already had a bunch of ships ready to defend the town. Once back, Herodes realized our fleets were in need of improvements. Mass port upgrades got initiated all over the kingdom, but just too late as the last still standing enemy fleet attacked again. At the exact same spot he defeated one enemy fleet in the past, now he had to do it again. This time with a lot more casualties. This is also the reason he enslaved all of the captives. After all, if they can work on a ship, I'm sure they can work in the mines. With the waters finally cleared of Egyptian scum, one of my fleets sailed over to Antioch, ready to assist us in our grand assault. We have even brought a new tool, unlike anything the world has ever seen. I would have loved to tell you the tale of this great victory, yet the gods meddled with my memory, making it impossible. After the battle, I quickly seized a few fleeing soldiers before moving into Thapsacos. From here, we spotted an Egyptian army besieging Palmyra. This was our greatest opportunity to find more intel about Mithridates' whereabouts. Standing before the enemy, I saw the banners of the Pharaoh, but not the ones of Ptolemy, rather Epinetus. As much joy this brought me, the same amount of dread and fear followed. No matter how strong of a Diadochi you are, death claims us all. I will have to forget that as we are about to fight. Feeling the importance of this battle, I got inspired by my grandfather. All of our cavalry were on the right, led by me. A declining front line of pikemen and falxmen were in the center, with elephants in behind ready to run down the enemy. I led all of the cavalry forward, hoping to intimidate the enemy. It worked so well, they decided to rearrange their formation. From here, the battle would begin. Does this victory mean I'm the strongest Diadochi? I sure hope so. The Oracle will have proven to be on our side, if that is the case. Nevertheless, I captured Palmyra for myself, as I just saved them from Egypt. They happily applied. They didn't really care for who ruled the great city. I just happened to offer them no taxes. Attalus the Great found no trouble in pushing further into Mesopotamia, taking Edessa without much trouble at all. This made us border Saba, who had been on a massive northern expansion into the Seleucid territory. We could now trade with them, as well as getting a lot more intel on other desert factions, such as the Nabateans. Thanks Zeus, they are on our side. The last I wanted was to expand into Arabia. The heat alone will take out most of my men. The last I heard from Attalus was that he pushed further down towards Seleucia. If he can take that, that would be the end of the Seleucid Empire. Meanwhile he did that, the fleet took revenge on Salamis, with some major casualties, and followed up by another naval battle between the Egyptians and Pergamon. But after that they were able to help me conquer Tyrus, and this gave us access to recruit 2 new armies that will be used in our subjugation of the East and Egypt. Oh Mithridates, I sure hope you can feel it. I am coming for you.